Right now, students and teachers alike take part in a massive show of support for a former West High employee.
And new information from the Madison Fire Department as a fire last night at the Mallards ballpark is now being investigated as an arson case.
And later, the university investigates a string of controversial posters placed around campus last night.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
First tonight, breaking news into our Channel 3000 Alert Center. The Middleton Police Department says a deputy was pinned and had to be pulled from his vehicle after a rollover crash along Highway 12. This is near Ashton Corners, which is between Middleton and Sauk City. The westbound lane has been shut down and crews are detouring traffic. Right now, we are working to learn if there are any injuries. The Madison School District is speeding up its process to possibly reinstate Marlon Anderson.
He is the security guard who was fired for telling a student not to use a racial slur against him. The story caused a lot of outrage from the community, but particularly students and staff at West High School where Anderson worked.
Jamie Perez followed the students and teachers who walked out protesting that situation today. Jamie?
Well, hundreds of students and a handful of teachers all started here on the steps of West High before they made their about 2-mile march over to the district administration building to make sure that their voices were heard. Not only did they say they want Marlon back on campus, but they said that they hope this is a learning opportunity as well. A powerful movement by hundreds of students and teachers got the district's attention for firing former security guard Marlon Anderson. Students organized a walkout, and teachers marched alongside them.
It hurt me, because he's a good man.
Anderson's son, Noah, has been a key leader in all of this, hoping that today's movement would spark institutional change.
They seemed very open, and they were accepting of our opinions. And from what they told us, they said that they're going to bat for us, and they're going to try. They're going to work for it. So I trust them.
For several hours, as students marched outside, making their voices heard. Several students sat down with Interim Superintendent Jane Belmore and Board of Education President Gloria Reyes about bringing Anderson back and reevaluating the zero-tolerance policy that got Anderson fired.
They have brought to our attention things that we had not thought about. It was a powerful day today for us all.
While no decision was formally made today, Noah and the students and staff behind him are hopeful that their message was loud and clear.
I believe that this is the start of something great, of America that will be great, that has not been great yet, but it will be.
District staff said they are speeding up the process to get the community answers as soon as possible. A community that is hoping their beloved security guard is welcomed back with as much anticipation as his son says he has to return.
He did say that he will be willing to return to the school for all y'all. So he loves y'all.
Several district administrators have scheduled meetings with the student union next week to discuss their policy going forward and how to incorporate student voices going forward for future situations as well. And as I mentioned earlier, they are discussing their zero tolerance policy going forward as well.
Jamie, thank you. And just this afternoon, the Dane County Boys and Girls Club says Marlon will now be temporarily working there, according to the Post. Anderson will be the Director of Program Operations, managing volunteer engagement, special initiatives, and teen recruitment until his appeal is finalized by MMSD. Also today, music legend Cher tweeted at our Madeline O'Neill that she would be willing to pay for any legal fees for Anderson. She wrote, "How can people be this disrespectful? If you want to sue MMSD Education Board, I will incur your expenses."
Next at 6, the fire last night at the Madison Mallard gift shop is now being investigated as an arson case. That building has extensive damage. It was first reported about 10 o'clock last night. Fire officials are investigating it as potentially suspicious at that time. They were able to put it out quickly, but flare-ups continued into the morning. Along with damage to that gift shop, the roof also collapsed. The building did feature some historic artifacts from the old field.
So when we built that building in 2011, we actually used the old bleachers from the old stadium. So when we did the big stadium renovation, so the siding of that building is all the bleachers, basically the seats from the old bleachers, and the wood actually was the wood structure as well from the old bleachers.
He says they did lose some merchandise inside the store in the fire, but they'll have it restocked in time for the holidays. The better news is there were no injuries.
Let's check your first alert forecast now with meteorologist Dave Caulfield.
Plenty of sunshine on this Friday. Temperatures did reach highs right around 60 degrees, so it was a milder day across southern Wisconsin. That sunset is starting to occur in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. It did the area proud today, helping those temperatures get a little bit above normal for this time of year. 57 right now in Madison, 60 in Lone Rock, 63 in Boscobel. Wind speeds have been gusty throughout the day out of the southeast, and they still are pretty gusty, 10 to 20 miles per hour, with wind gusts of about 25 miles per hour still showing up in Madison. Day planner for the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will fall into the upper 40s, so we won't be as cool as we start off tomorrow. And then mostly cloudy skies with some showers possible by the afternoon and early evening hours. We'll time those out further and talk about our next chance for more substantial showers next week in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
A pilot is dead and a truck driver has life-threatening injuries after a crash in Brown County. The sheriff's office says the plane crashed into the pickup truck while trying to land at a private airstrip. The FAA and NTSB will investigate what caused the crash.
Antonio Gentry will spend 30 years in prison for the death of Rayshawn Jackson. The 37-year-old shot him in the back of the head last May. Gentry speaking in court today about why he did it.
I do not wish trying to shift the blame for what I've done. But this was not a gang war, a street fight, or a calculated incident. My reason for shooting Rayshawn is because I fear for my life.
The judge saying even after pleading guilty, Gentry is trying to shift blame. The now 13-time convicted felon pleaded guilty to 3 of the original 10 charges: second-degree intentional homicide, felony possession of a firearm, and armed robbery. Madison police are investigating after shots were fired hitting an office window near the UW campus. This happened about 10:30 last night on Langdon between Lake and Francis Streets. No one was injured. An off-campus WISC alert was sent out to UW students. That area was closed for nearly 2 hours. As police investigated, they arrested 28-year-old Brandon Buckner Sr. in connection to an altercation that led to those shots. He's facing charges for recklessly endangering safety. Police recovered bullets at the scene. They say they were fired from at least 2 weapons.
Today, UW-Madison is investigating a series of controversial posters placed around campus. Gabriella Becerra joins us with how the university and students are responding.
The UW-Madison says after finding multiple signs displaying messages of exclusion, the signs appear to be a part of a coordinated campaign. In a statement, UW-Madison says the school stands against racism and all forms of hate and any messages of exclusion. Many students were upset with the posters initially, but are hoping people look beyond the protest as an opportunity to start a discussion about underrepresentation on and around campus.
They need to see that it is a good message, that we need to be talking about these things and having these conversations, these difficult conversations that are uncomfortable to have in a place like Wisconsin, but it's necessary in order to improve the campus environment for everyone.
UW-Madison says they acknowledge that these signs may have a harmful impact on students and that they support a welcoming community. The university says it has policies that prohibit posting unauthorized material on campus and will follow up as they see appropriate.
Gabriella, thank you.
A reminder to our viewers that if you have a TV in your home that uses an antenna, not cable or satellite, you do need to rescan that TV. Our signal is moving to a new frequency today. Right now, we do have a phone bank open to answer any questions you might have, guide you through that rescan process. The number on your screen there, it's 274-4000. It'll be open for another 20 minutes or so until 6:30. You can also find any instructions at channel3000.com. It's still ahead tonight at 6. A big boost for the reconstruction effort at the Pheasant Branch Conservancy.
And out thousands of dollars, why some local hemp farmers say their crop was intentionally destroyed after it was harvested this year. Stay with us.
A big financial boost today for the reconstruction effort at the Pheasant Branch Conservancy after the heavy rains and flooding in the summer of 2018. That rainfall caused millions of dollars in damage. Today, Dane County chipped in $500,000. That's in addition to the $400,000 already included in the 2020 county budget. Teams are currently studying the terrain and hope to have a reconstruction plan in place by the end of the year.
We feel one of the first things that would be done is the stream bank stabilization process. With the amount of equipment, construction activities, the last thing that would likely happen is the trail and bridge being completed. We don't have a timetable. One of the hopes is that the study would put forth a timetable for the construction process.
Middleton today also got $328,000 in FEMA money. That's to cover expenses already incurred due to the flooding. Governor Tony Evers has declared today Wisconsin Hemp Day. That's acknowledging the enormous growth that the industry has seen in just the last 2 years.
But with the successes that growth has brought, there have also been failures. Amy Reed shares why hemp growers say the system needs to be looked at.
Once you peel back the layers of the leaves, what you got there now is your flower.
In the time Randy Cohn has grown hemp, he's learned a lot and grown a lot, even experimenting with different ways of drying the in-demand product.
They're not quite ready yet, though. I mean, they still got a little ways to go. We're still getting bend in the stem versus a nice snap.
Overall, he said the experience has gone well, but still this year he had to destroy about 100 pounds of his hemp because it tested too high in THC. Though he's still looking profitable, many farmers in a similar situation could lose tens of thousands.
It's part of the high-risk nature of this crop right now.
The State Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is overseeing this program, which, like many of the farmers, is new. It also went from 135 growers in the first year to more than 1,000 this year. To compensate, the agency added more samplers who could test the hemp, but only a couple dozen compared to the thousands of samples they had to do. Brian Kuhn said the organization is learning, but farmers should understand the risk with hemp and signing on to a pilot program.
There's a lot of promise and a lot of potential, but right now there's still a lot of risk with it because we just don't have the experience with the crop and what they do here in Wisconsin to have any real track record of how you have to manage that crop.
This isn't Randy's first time growing a crop, but he said hemp is different and volatile.
It is a high risk, but there's also things that can be done to help mitigate some of that risk.
Because farmers depend on the agency, he hopes this process will be smoothed out for next year.
Yeah, and in the future, we're hoping that we can work together to try to mitigate some of this risk for the farmer.
Amy Reed, News 3 Now.
Kuhn says DATCAP is dependent on directive from the state legislature, and bills are in progress for this process.
While the department works on changes for next year, they're also getting ready for the next round of applications. That'll start November 1st.
Happening tomorrow, a run walk in Portage is raising awareness about addiction. About a year ago, we told you about Jake Neeson. After recovering from addiction, he used his own money to purchase a home, renovate it, and turn it into a sober living home. The Run Walk will help fund programs at the home to help people recover, everything from exercise programs to meditation and employment support. Race participants will be trained on using Narcan to save someone experiencing an overdose. We have information about signing up on channel3000.com. Just ahead in sports, a live preview of our last regular season game of the week, this one between two unbeaten powerhouse teams.
But first, a few raindrops tomorrow. Your full forecast as we enter the weekend. That's straight ahead at 6.
Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joins us now, and it was a nice day.
Yeah, not bad, especially since we got the sunshine back. Temperatures close to 60 degrees. Hopefully you had the windbreaker today, though, because we still did have a breezy Friday across southern Wisconsin. Max wind gusts of about 20 to 30 miles per hour across the area. Still seeing some wind gusts close to 25 in Madison. So as we kick off the football games in about an hour or so in some spots, make sure that I think really all we need is a sweatshirt tonight as temperatures stay in the 50s, but make sure we have some layer to block that breeze. It will still be with us a little bit for the games tonight. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. That's a pretty looking shot on the Edgewater Skycam overlooking Lake Mendota there. 59 degrees the high today so far. During the evening update, we may actually get bumped up to 60, so pretty much where we should be for this time of year. We started off close to the freezing mark this morning, though, so we'll be not as cool, not by a long shot, in fact, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler as we head into the overnight hours tonight. Other temperatures right now, 52 in Watertown, 50 in Waukesha, 55 we're down to in Mineral Point, and 58 in Platteville. For the high school football games tonight, we'll be falling through the low 50s with partly cloudy skies. Still a little bit breezy, but no rain. This is a lot better weather than we've had the past 2 Fridays for Friday night football. And this weekend, if you're planning on going to watch some leaves, the color is peaking right around now across much of Wisconsin, and southern Wisconsin getting its act together as well. So I think over the next couple of days are the best chance that we've had in a while to see some of those nice fall colors, and we will get a bunch of dry time. The only exception tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about that in just a second. Tonight, temperatures falling into the upper 40s, partly cloudy, not as cool outside, so that's some good news. We're still helped by that southerly wind, keeping temperatures in the upper 40s overnight. We'll see the clouds increase tomorrow. There's that cold front on the way. So notice we see some colors of yellow, maybe even some orange early on as it crosses into southern Wisconsin. However, this weakens pretty mightily as we get into south central Wisconsin. So really just expecting a few raindrops tomorrow afternoon and maybe even into the early evening hours before that moves out. We're left with partly cloudy skies to start off Sunday, and then more sunshine on the way for Sunday afternoon with highs right around 60 degrees. So as far as rain totals go, generally looking at about 1/10 of an inch or less for southern Wisconsin. Southwestern Wisconsin, that number could be a little bit closer to 1/4 of an inch, but really not expecting major impacts from that rain tomorrow. So I wouldn't let it cancel any plans. And Sunday, definitely don't cancel plans because that weather is nice. Temperatures in the low 60s, and then we're in the 50s Monday with showers and thunderstorms. About 1/2 inch of rain out of the question there before we get cooler as we get into the middle and end of next week.
We'll hear from the Badgers and the Illini ahead of tomorrow's game in Champaign. And I had a fired up guy from a nursing home call me about tonight's Prep Mania game of the week. We're doing that sports thing next.
I'm Amanda Quintana. Tonight on the news at 9, a local library is concerned about a decision limiting public libraries' access to ebooks. That's tonight on Fox 47.
It's the 9th and final week of the high school football regular season. Our Prep Mania Game of the Week kicks off at the top of the hour, and we saved one of the best for last. A Badger Conference rivalry between two unbeaten teams. Jay Wilson quarterbacks our coverage from DeForest, and they're packing them in, Jay, tonight.
Kevin, I was told the fans started lining up at 4:15 tonight. The DeForest stands are completely full. The Wanakee stands are getting close to that. It's got a special feel. Wanakee's ranked #1 in the state in Division II. DeForest is ranked #4, but we're on the Norski's home field. Bill Brophy's off doing Badger hockey this week, so Alan Minard is with us. And Alan, I'll ask you the question everybody's asking me. Can DeForest beat Wanakee?
Well, comparative scores indicate yes. I think, DeForest has had a couple emotional weeks. Hall of Fame coach Jerry Roelke passed away. Coach Minnick has announced that he's going to retire after this season. This is one of the best DeForest teams that they've had in a long time, and DeForest is not afraid of Wanakee.
Well, we'll find out in about a couple hours, I guess. It's an important night, obviously, the last week of the regular season. It's playoff time. Take us through the time schedule of what we're going to see overnight and when we're going to find those playoff pairings.
We should get the playoff field published by midnight. Then they'll draw those cut lines. That should be out by midnight. I know there's doing a Facebook Live event with the WSN network. And then about 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., they'll have the groupings in which the playoff teams will report to a seating site. The seedings will come out, and the pairings won't be announced till about 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we'll start the postseason. But first, let's get the regular season out of the way. Not out of the way. It's going to be exciting tonight. Wanakee and DeForest. Kickoff 7 o'clock, channel3000.com. The winner also gets the Badger North Conference Championship. Should be quite a night. Kevin, back to you.
Burning the midnight oil. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great time in DeForest. All right, college football time. And let's be honest, Wisconsin's going to have to play its worst game of the season. Illinois is going to have to play its best game of the season if they want it to be close tomorrow. A part of Wisconsin. Only 5 turnovers all season. Illinois leads the nation, though, with 11 forced fumbles and 10 fumble recoveries. They also have 4 picks. Wisconsin's top 5 in turnover margin, so they know how giving and taking can affect a game.
I think they do a great job of, attacking the ball, especially like second guy in, and like a lot of times with turnovers, they can become a little bit infectious. What you're seeing with Illinois, it's more than just one guy, and I think that's a sign of a really well-coached team. Players are taking that, and they're acting on it, and they have success with it. Now it fuels you, and we've got to do a great job. That's been a big part of a lot of games.
The Illini showed flashes against Michigan last week, but there is a reason that they are 2-4 and 31-point underdogs. Illinois hasn't had consistent offensive line play all season, and that's going to present Illinois with many issues as they get ready for the #1 total defense in the country.
We got to clean a lot of things up, and I wouldn't say it's a lot. It's probably some of the little things, guys falling off blocks late, and just picking up the different looks they give us. So I think we're getting very, very close. It's about starting fast and finishing strong, and we can't go in those jittery spurts. We got to be able to play an entire football game.
Wisconsin's won 9 straight in the series. The linebacker Zach Baun said he didn't know they were playing Ohio State next week. It's how locked in he is on Illinois. So we'll see. And that's where they've gotten to where they are, 6-0 and 3-0. So
you did not
11 a.m. tomorrow.
You did not believe that.
Sure I did. Every word, Zach. Well, see, he's out of town. He can't twist me into a pretzel.
They're looking ahead.
Yeah,
That's the game of the decade.
And
for the
first road game in 50 days. So we'll see how they handle it tomorrow at 11.
All right. Final check with Dave.
Yeah, that's how you actually make a bad forecast as you look ahead. So we're looking at right now, Madison is looking very nice. On the WISC-TV Skycam, we are still seeing temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s across the area. Still a little bit breezy for the games tonight. Eventually, those temps stop dropping into the upper 40s by the time we start tomorrow. Showers possible tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Dave, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.